I never thought free cupcakes could ruin my life, or improve it, or both. It's complicated. My name's Mark. I'm 26, and until last year the most dramatic thing that had ever happened to me was when my cat fell asleep inside the washing machine. I just moved to Willow Bend, a small town where the only traffic light blinks yellow after 9 p.m. And the biggest event of the year is the Pie and Possum Parade. I came here to help my Uncle Jerry run his bakery after he slipped on a lemon meringue pie and took early retirement. Enter Lily and Rose, two sisters. They're maybe in their mid-20s, both with Down syndrome, and they radiate the kind of pure, unfiltered joy you wish you could bottle and sell. Every Thursday, they'd waltz into the bakery, order the same thing, one chocolate cupcake with rainbow sprinkles for Lily, one vanilla cupcake with extra frosting for Rose, and then sit at the corner table, giggling over something on their phones. The first Thursday I met them, they told me very seriously that they'd never had cupcakes from the new guy before, and that this was a very important day. I, being a sucker for enthusiasm, told them the cupcakes were on the house. In my head, this was just customer service, a welcome gift. In Willow Bend, apparently this was a marriage proposal. Part 2, how to accidentally get engaged without knowing it. The next morning, I'm out front hosing down the sidewalk when a woman I've never met. Later, I find out it's Lily and Rose's mom. Marches up to me, wraps me in a bear hug, and says, "We're so happy to have you in the family." I'm thinking, wow, these small-town folks are friendly. So I just smile and say, "Me too." She's crying a little, which, okay, sure, maybe it's allergy season. Then I go inside, and my Uncle Jerry's got this smirk like he knows something I don't. He says, "Well, Romeo, guess we better start planning the engagement party." I laugh because obviously he's joking. Except he's not joking. And the engagement party is already scheduled for Saturday. And apparently my proposal was offering Lily that free cupcake. I wish I was making this up. Part 3, the barbecue of destiny. Saturday rolls around. I've been telling myself all week that I'll explain the misunderstanding. No big deal. Just clear it up before it snowballs. I arrive at Lily's house, which is covered in handmade banners that say things like, "Congrats Mark and Lily," and "True love sprinkles forever." There's a bouncy castle in the backyard. There's a pig roast. Someone has set up a karaoke machine and keeps handing me a microphone. And here's the thing. Everyone is so genuinely happy. Lily's introducing me to all her cousins. People are telling me I'm exactly what she needs. I keep opening my mouth to correct them, and then losing my nerve. Because what kind of jerk ruins someone's party by saying, "Oh, actually, this is a huge misunderstanding," so I just go along with it. For now. Part 4, enter Rose, stage left. This is where things start to tilt into full-on absurdity. A week after the engagement party, I'm back at the bakery when Rose walks in alone. She looks kind of bummed out. I ask if everything's okay, and she says, "I'm happy for Lily, but I guess I'll just be the lonely sister forever." Now, if I had even a scrap of foresight, I would have just said something comforting and left it there. Instead, I, being an awkward idiot, said, I'm sure that's not true." That same afternoon, I hear from the local librarian that the real reason Rose is upset is because in Willow Bend, there's this tradition where if one sister gets married, the other should get married too. So no one is left out. The logical leap from that point to Mark should marry Rose too happened so fast I didn't even have time to blink. It was a Tuesday. Tuesdays in Willow Bend are usually quiet. The bakery is half empty except for retirees who want coffee refills and high school kids skipping gym class. Rose comes in, all smiles now, wearing a sparkly blue dress that looks like it came straight from a prom catalog. She sits down and says, "So when's our engagement party?" I choke on my coffee. I don't even know how to begin. Rose, I think there's been some kind of..." But before I can finish, my Uncle Jerry sticks his head out of the kitchen and says, "Saturday at the rec center. I booked the DJ." Apparently, he's fully on board with this double wedding concept because, in his words, it'll bring in more customers. By the end of the day, the mayor himself has come by to congratulate me on restoring a beautiful small-town tradition. I try, for the third time, to explain the misunderstanding, but he cuts me off by shaking my hand and saying, "That's modesty talking. We need more men like you." At this point, I'm thinking, okay, worst case scenario, I just let the parties happen, and then later we'll quietly cancel the weddings. Right? Right? Part 6, The Town Hall Trap. If you've never been ambushed at a town hall meeting, I can't recommend it. I show up thinking I'm there to talk about bakery renovations. Instead, I walk into what looks like a Hallmark movie set. There are flowers. There are candles. There's a giant banner that says, "Joint Nuptials. Mark plus Lily plus Rose, this Saturday." The mayor gives a speech about how this fine young man is bringing back the spirit of community. People clap. Someone hands me a glass of champagne. I start to say, "Actually, this is a misunderstanding." But the crowd bursts into applause again before I can get past the word, "actually." At some point, I realize that if I keep trying to protest, I'm going to look like I'm breaking the hearts of not one, but two beloved members of the town. And nobody wants to be that guy in a small town. So, I smile. I nod. I take another sip of champagne. And inside, I'm screaming. Part 7, The Paperwork Plot Twist. You know how sometimes you sign something without reading it because you're in a hurry? Yeah. Don't do that. 2 days before the wedding, a guy from the county office shows up with a clipboard. He says, "Just need your signature for the bakery vendor's permit renewal." I'm elbow deep in bread dough, so I wipe my hands on my apron and sign without looking. It's not the vendor permit. It's the marriage license. Well, licenses. Plural. By the time I find out, it's been filed. Stamped. Approved. I am, on paper, about 48 hours away from legally marrying two sisters. I briefly consider running away to another state. Maybe another country. But my Uncle Jerry reminds me that if I vanish, the bakery will go under, and Lily and Rose will be crushed. So, I stay. Part 8, The Double Wedding. If you told me 6 months earlier that I'd be standing in front of a crowd, holding hands with two women in matching white dresses, while a guy in a boello tie says, "Do you take these sisters to be your lawfully wedded wives?" I'd have laughed in your face. But there I was, sweating through my suit, wondering if fainting would get me out of this. The ceremony is short. Everyone cheers. Someone throws confetti. Lily kisses me on the cheek. Rose kisses me on the forehead. And the town photographer captures the moment for the front page of the Willow Bend Gazette. I tell myself, okay, Mark, just survive the reception, then figure out an annulment next week. Except the reception is actually kind of nice. There's dancing, laughter, and more cupcakes than I've ever seen in one place. For the first time, I start to notice how much fun Lily and Rose are having. And maybe, just maybe, how happy they make me feel too. Part 9, Honeymoon. At home. Since the honeymoon fund was actually just a jar of coins labeled for the big day. The newlyweds, that's all 3 of us, end up staying in my apartment just for a week or 2. In 2 days, they've rearranged my entire life. The couch is now in the kitchen. The silverware drawer is organized by color instead of type. There are sticky notes on everything. Fridge, cold food / shoes for feet. At first, I'm overwhelmed. But then I notice they've also started helping around the bakery. Rose is a natural at decorating cakes. Lily's customer service game is unmatched. She knows everyone by name and their favorite pastry. Business starts booming. People aren't just buying cupcakes anymore. They're buying into the story. Part 10, My Accidental PR Miracle. The Willow Bend Gazette runs a front-page article. Local man marries 2 sisters. Bakery sales triple. Suddenly, we've got people driving in from 3 towns over just to meet the famous triple couple. We're selling out every day. My Uncle Jerry keeps winking at me like I planned the whole thing. And the truth is, I'm starting to like this life. The sisters are funny, kind, and somehow always know when I need cheering up. I still plan to clear things up legally, but it's no longer about getting out. It's about making sure nobody gets hurt. Part 11, The Big Realization. One night, after closing, we're sitting around eating leftover pastries when Rose says, "Mark, you're like the best big brother we've ever had." I pause. Big brother. Lily nods. Yeah, we're not married. We just wanted you to be part of our family. Apparently, in Willow Bend, marrying someone like this isn't legally binding. It's a symbolic thing. The marriage licenses I signed, those were honorary certificates. The wedding was basically a big friendship ceremony with cupcakes. I've been panicking for months over something that wasn't even real. Part 12, the clarification. We talk for hours. They explain they just wanted someone to be in their lives who wouldn't move away or forget about them. They thought the whole wedding idea would make it official in everyone's minds. I tell them I'm honored and relieved and slightly annoyed nobody explained this to me sooner. Rose shrugs. We thought you knew. Honestly, fair enough. Part 13, making it official the right way. The next week, I go to the courthouse and legally register as their supportive guardian friend. A program in our county that helps adults with disabilities with life stuff. We celebrate with a we're not actually married party at the bakery. It's just as big as the wedding, but this time I can fully enjoy it without wondering if I'm committing accidental bigamy. Part 14, life in Willow Bend now. A year later, the bakery is thriving. Lily runs the front counter. Rose handles custom cake orders. I bake. Uncle Jerry supervises from his recliner. Every Thursday we still have cupcake night, but now it's for the whole town. People bring stories, music, and sometimes even possums. Don't ask. And I've learned something important. Sometimes the weirdest, most confusing detour of your life can turn out to be exactly where you were supposed to go. Part 15, the moral of the story. If you ever move to a small town and give someone free cupcakes, make sure you understand the local customs. I came here thinking I was just helping my uncle run a bakery. I ended up with 2 honorary sisters, a thriving business, and a community that feels like family. And yeah, I'll never live down the time I married 2 sisters. But honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Pause. Now if you'll excuse me, I've got cupcakes to frost.